Hi, I'm Tanya with Homeschool Heals. Today I want to talk to you about fifth grade math. In the fifth grade, your math skills are taken up a notch. In previous grades, you were taught to work with single digit numbers and math calculations. Fifth grade introduces working with two-digit and three-digit numbers. During this video, I want to demonstrate how to solve a few of the problems you will see in fifth grade. Let's start with addition. It really doesn't matter how the numbers are given to you, but it does matter how you set the problem up for addition. So let's just think of a number off the top of my head that we can add up. I'm going to show you some ways that you may be given these problems. So let's say you have a problem like this, and you're asked to solve this problem. Well, don't get confused that the numbers are going straight across instead of up and down. You can still solve this problem. So you can stack the numbers up on each other. The important thing with this is keeping the numbers lined up. So you see how I put this line here just to show you. On this side, because you always start at the end of the problem when adding, so you're adding up this side of the numbers. So just because they're like this, you can still stack them up on each other and still add them together. So here you would get 3 plus 2 plus 1, which is 6. 2 plus 3 is 5. You add a 2, and that's 76. So your answer is 76. But it does help to line everything up so that you can keep things in order and you come to the right answer. So that's addition problem. That's one way you may see it. Another way you may get an addition problem is maybe a longer number. Let's say we have a 7 and a 4. Okay, like that, a 4-digit number, right? And they want us to add this. Still, you keep the numbers lined up in their right rows. So you're starting at the end of the problem. You're adding these two numbers together. You get 12. You carry the 1. Still keeping things lined up. You get 1 plus 7 plus 0 is 8. You're still keeping things lined up. You get 2 plus 2 is 4. And then this one is 3 plus 5 is 8. So that would be your final answer. But the key here, no matter what number, no matter what the problem is, if you always keep them lined up, you'll get the right answer. All right, let's go to a different set of problems. Let's look at multiplication. So again, I am going to think of a number, a problem in my head here. Let's see. We want to multiply. Let's do a two-digit multiplication problem. Okay, so I'm going to make a factor here. Your first factor is going to be that. And then we're going to multiply that by another factor, which is going to be, let's just do that. And we're multiplying. So in the past grades, you were given single-digit numbers, like things like this. You may get a bunch of those. And those are pretty simple because you learned your math facts, so you know, hey, I can do those. But you can do these too. It's just using your math facts in a bigger problem. Okay, so you always want to start at the end of your problem. You're going to start with the 2. You're going to take this 2 and multiply it by all the top numbers. That's going to give us our first row of numbers here. All right, so let's begin. So 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 4 is 8, and 2 times 5 is 10. So that's our first row of numbers from the 2. Now we're going to move on to the 3. But the first thing you want to remember in having more than one number, one factor here at the bottom, is you're going to have to indent a space. So we have our first row here. We're going to indent another number when we start this 3. So 3 times 1 is 3. So you see how we keep this space open? And that's just a 0. You can put a 0 to hold that place, or you don't have to. You just can know that that's a 0. If I had another number here, I would start it under the 8 because that would give me my third number over. First place, second place, third place. Okay? All right, so we got 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 4 is 12. Right? And I got to carry that 1 there. 3 times 5 is 15. If we add a 1, that's 16, which makes that. We're going to add both of these rows of numbers together. And you see how everything is in its own row. So if I was to draw a line, I won't get confused about what numbers I'm adding because everything should be lined up in its own spot here. So here we go. 2, we just bring that down. 4 plus 3 is 7. 8 plus 6 is 14. Now I have to carry the 1 there, which is going to make that 1 plus 0 is 1, and then plus 2 is 3. 1 plus 6 is 6. I'm sorry. 1 plus 6 is 7. I'm going to lead you wrong there. And then 1. You bring the 1 down. Now that's our problem. That's our product from multiplying those two factors. You put your, and you can take these lines off, but you put your comma in there. And then you'll have the answer there. So see. There you go. All right, so that's how you do multiplication, and you're always keeping things lined up there. All right, let's do a division problem and show you how that works. So let's see, let's make up a division problem. You want to do 2-digit and 1-digit. 1-digit is how you learned before. You could have a 3 going into a 9. You could have a 3 going into a 2-digit number, which is 3 goes into here how many times? So it would be 7 is the biggest number we can come up with because 3 times 7 is 21. You would subtract that, 21, and you would get a 2. So you have a remainder 2. So that's how you would do it with a single digit. It doesn't matter. You just still have to keep these numbers lined up. And I'll show you another thing to remember here. So say I have a 20 and I want to divide the 20 by this number here, 1025. So one of the things here, remember we did the single, now we're doing the 20. So now we have this number here, and remember just how they have to line up as you're solving the problem. They have to line up on top too. And the way to do that, or remember that, is what numbers are you working with? So does 20 go into 1? No. Does 20 go into 10? No. Does 20 go into 102? Yes. So we're working with this number right here, 102. So my number that I put up here is going to have to go over that 2. That way things stay straight. They don't go right here in the first number. It goes over the 1 you're working with. So I'm working with this number right here. It's going to go over the 2. So how many times does 20 go into 102 is the question. And most of you may know that already. It goes into there 5 times. So we're going to go ahead and multiply 20 times 5, and we're going to get 100. And we're going to subtract that. So you see the 5 is lined up over the 2 where it needs to be. And now these numbers are lined up here at the bottom where they need to be. So we should just be able to subtract this easily and get 2 minus 0 is 2. And then we're going to bring down this 5. We're going to have 25 now. So 20 goes into 25. because we brought down the 5, we're working with this 5 number. So whatever number we come up with, we put over the 5. So 20 goes into 25 one time. It's 20 times 1 is 20. Subtract it. 5 minus 0 is 5. And that's going to be our remainder because we don't have any more numbers to bring down. So your answer is 51, remainder 5. And you can see how we keep these numbers, how we have kept them lined up, even on top. And it should be over a little bit more, but you understand. You got to keep those numbers lined up so you're putting your numbers in the right spaces. You know what you're adding, you know what you're subtracting in these numbers. Just to review, a couple of things to remember when working with more than one number. Always check to make sure your numbers are lined up. If you find that you're making a lot of mistakes in your adding and subtracting, multiplying or division, take some time to review your math facts. It's okay. That's all I have for you now.